Hi there, Rikky Tang here. Now I'd like to give you an update about my Leo Vince exhaust saga. But before I get into it, first thing I'd like to do is thank everybody who took time to contribute to the last couple of videos I've made on the exhaust. The first one where I talked about the problem and refitted the OEM exhaust. We found the speed differences, the power differences there. And secondly, where I went for a ride with the OEM exhaust fitted again and felt the difference in power and realized just how much I'd lost. Clearly, I've been as confused as you guys have as to the reasons for the power difference, the power drop when that exhaust was fitted, the aftermarket one. Now, there have been several reasons offered as the possibilities as to why the bike wasn't performing properly. The most likely one in my mind was that the bike simply needed a remap to work with the aftermarket exhaust. It kind of makes sense, doesn't it? The second one, which in my mind was a little less likely, was the fact that this exhaust was designed for the R1200 range. The water-cooled engines though, not the even earlier oil air-cooled engines, but it was designed for the 1200s, not for the 1250s, and maybe the exhaust is simply incompatible. But I see that as less likely because other people on various forums and on the internet has fitted R1200 end cans of various types to R1250s, seemingly without problems, or at least without problems as big as mine. Now, I got a comment about a week ago from one of my contributors asking if I could see straight through the exhaust. I replied that I could see a plate near the bottom end of the exhaust, near the start, towards the engine side, that has 4 or 5 holes in it. Otherwise, apart from that plate, I can see straight through the exhaust. Well, last night I received another comment in that thread, thanks Jeremy, that suggested that maybe it's the plate in the exhaust that's causing the problem. Now, since I was actually already in the shed and it was about 10:45 p.m, I got the exhaust, I removed the link pipe, and that's the first time I removed it from the exhaust, and found that I could actually remove the plate really easily. I was shocked. But anyway, I put the plate back in the exhaust, put the link pipe back together so I can show you how I took it off in this clip. Hello there. Right, now, hopefully you can see the plate that I'm referring to in the video. Right there, there's I think 5 holes in total in there. I shall pull off the springs. 1, 2. Now, a bit of a struggle to get off the link pipe. Oh, it's not too bad this time. Right, so there's the plate, hopefully in focus. What I'll do is I'll get my puller and simply, oh, a bit hard to do it facing the camera, there you go. Put it out. Sorted. So what's next? Well, stand by for part 2 of this video where I go out for another set of test runs. I'll repeat the test runs with the OEM exhaust first, and then I shall come home, put the Leo Vince on without the plate and go for another test run. I think I will refit this. I've not managed to get this welded back together. Actually, before all this happened in the last couple of days, or the last day, I did ask a mechanic to weld this back together because I thought it might have been a back pressure problem in the exhaust and this might have helped, and the chap said, nah, I don't think this will make any real difference to how the exhaust performs, so I don't want to take your money. So he wouldn't weld it for me. So anyway, I'll put this back on because I think without that plate, hello, I suspect the end can will be a good bit louder than what it was the first time I fitted it. Well, now I know what's likely to happen in the comments. Some people are going to say, well, of course that plate, look at it, of course that plate's going to strangle the engine, it's going to choke the engine, it's going to restrict gas flow. Why did you leave it in? Or why didn't you take it out? Or some people may say, ah, well, here's a bit of information he didn't tell us about. Why didn't he tell us about this plate? Why did he hide it from us? Not that I'm a very paranoid person, at least not anymore. Not as much as I used to be when I stopped smoking weed about 20 years ago. Now, the reasons I didn't mention this plate up until now is pretty simple. First of all, I thought it was welded into the exhaust. When I first got this exhaust out of the box, and remember it is a used exhaust, a second-hand one, not new, the link pipe was already fitted. I never took it off, but I did see the plate in there. And I thought it was basically there to stop things falling down the exhaust to potentially into the link pipe and hitting the servo valve. That's really why I thought the plate was there. Also, I looked at the schematics of the exhaust and the parts list in the instructions, and there's no mention of that plate. So I just thought it was an integral part of the silencer which couldn't be removed, so I didn't try to remove it. So basically, I forgot about it. The other reason is that it never occurred to me that the bike was being strangled by the exhaust, or having the gas flow reduced. From the track day, my impression was the power was being reduced somehow. I wasn't hitting the speeds I thought I should be hitting, but in my mind I thought it was the ECU not liking something about that exhaust and reducing power, not that the exhaust was strangling the bike. In hindsight, it's I think probably quite obvious now that looking at that plate, it was restricting gas flow. So that's where I'm at the moment, folks. I'm going to get some testing done. I'll get another video sorted out, and I'll be back with you with part 2 soon.